Welcome back to University Lab Tech School. I'm Lori the Lab. So as I let my nutrient agar equilibrate to 55 degrees Celsius in my water bath, I set up and prepare my plates and get them ready. So first I disinfected this whole countertop with disinfectant, and I know that I need at least 4 bags of nutrient agar plate, regular size plates. So I'm going to show you how I set that up. And you're going to notice that when I pour, I can usually stack 4 at a time. So when I pour, I go from the bottom to the top. I pour from the bottom to the top, and it's basically what your hands, how big your hands are, that can handle how many plates you can stack at a time. So some people can do 3, others can do 2, and you might even do a single, maybe 5. So, but I pack them in 4, and I line them up and flip them over. Okay, now we're all set up, ready to start pouring plates. And we are getting ready to pour our plates. Our flasks have been at 55 degrees Celsius for about like an hour now, so I let it get to that temperature. I want to explain to you some of the tips that I use before I start pouring the plates. Just a FYI, when you open your bags of plates, you want to make sure that they are not broken, because sometimes in the shipping process the plates will get broken. There'll be pieces, and you don't want pieces in your agar. Also, sometimes there's this film that happens on the lid. You can kind of see it right there. That is just in the manufacturing process. This lid, it's okay, it is still sterile. I'm not going to throw away this plate, but I am going to throw it away now because it's unsterile, because I've now lifted the plate. This is an example. I'm going to show you how to pour and how I use my hands when I pour. I also want to share with you that we use this heated glove because sometimes the agar is still too hot, and so I have this heat protectant glove which I'll wear as I'm pouring, because I can pour the plates and continue pouring them even if it's too hot. Also, you don't want to talk when you're pouring plates, because your breath has all these microbacteria on it, and it can go into the agar and grow some fun bacteria. So you can also, you cannot talk, but you could also wear a mouth cover over your face while you're pouring. I guess I'll wear this today because that'll be fun. And then I also put down a pad in the space that I work, because you will spill the agar. It's just, the heat that evaporates on the top, or just a little spillage, occurs on the surface that you're working with, or it might drip on the floor. We like to actually pour close to the edge of the tabletop so that it doesn't, so that it will pour on top of the mat that we're going to lay it on. They make these chemical resistant mats, and you just put it on the ground. If you're cheaper, which sometimes we had these puppy pads, or diapers, or some type of pad. Move the flask from the water bath. I'm gonna wipe it off, the outside from the water, and then the lid I'm gonna keep on top of before I'm about ready to pour. And I'm gonna be in front of my plates when I'm ready to pour. And then right before I start pouring, I'm gonna tilt my flask at an angle. And why we do this is to further protect it from any bacteria being inside of the flask. Because I'll show you. So then we remove the lid, and we place the lid down on our surface area, and our flask is tilted. See, if it's upright, it has all of the spores from the air coming in, and my breath you know, coming in, you know, so on a angle, why we keep it at an angle is to protect the agar from becoming unsterile. You can also keep the flame close by. In another video, I'll show you what to do when you have bubbles. You could flame your plates. And if you are not a professional at pouring these plates, you may need to, your arm might get tired and you want to rest the flask. I'll show you all those types of troubleshooting things, or fatigue and all of that in other videos, but today I'm just going to show you how a professional does her plates, where there won't be, you know, any bubbles, and if there is, I'll show you a technique. In another video, I'll show you a technique of the bubbles, but I'm gonna probably pour them without any bubbles, and you know, I won't have to set this down because I built this muscle up for like 5 years, and you know, I won't have to set it down. But if I did set it down, I would just flame the lid to sterilize it, flame the flask, the opening of the flask, and then flame the lid, the cap that I set on the table, and then cap it, and then I can put it upright and let it rest for a while. But of course, you don't want it to rest for too long, for it to solidify. You don't want that to happen, so you got to work kind of fast, and that's why I'm doing this prep video before. Okay, so when pouring plates, I'm a right-handed person, and I keep the plate in my left hand, and as I'm pouring, I said it's like on an angle, and the plate is going to be lifted only a little bit. Now everything is to avoid contamination, so let me show you closer. This is the plate, and I'm going to lift it up a little bit like this, and it's still on an angle so that it doesn't contaminate. It's blocking from my voice or any air from getting into the container, into the sterile plate. And so then I'm going to pour a little bit, and I'm going to just keep the flask at an angle, and I'm going to close the lid, and then I'm going to get to my next plate after that. So I'm going to show you all of that without talking.